What? Did I make things weird?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was you. It's you, Luke. It's not us. It's you.
You're the problem.
How do you make things weird?
You're really gonna... It's not us, it's you, me? I invented it's not you, it's us.
No.
That just sounded like a bunch of articles and pronouns all together. Didn't sound like an actual sentence.
I'm the master at not saying sentences. There are a million sentences that I've never said.
That's actually
So
a pretty
anyway.
low number.
This is a cubic inch of sound. Over the past week, all of us watched Being John Malkovich. I am your host. My name is John Malkovich, and I was in Con Air.
I'm John Malkovich, but I'm actually not.
Yo.
Also, I'm Kevin.
I'm Nick, and I am not recording this week.
I'm John Malkovich,
So-
and I
someone else
was in
should be
Being
recording,
John
but-
Malkovich.
My name's.
I want
Kyle.
another person to record. I'm too nervous about this. You guys know this shit from last week.
Not having it. You also just
Oh,
interrupted
fuck
me.
it.
I
If
want
we
a-
die, we die.
I want a written apology because you just interrupted my intro.
Who are you? You didn't
Sorry.
introduce
Anyway.
yourself.
My name's Kyle. I am not John Malkovich, and I just rolled a 1 on a d20. That's not a joke. I literally did.
Nice.
God damn it.
But it
Nah,
is
you're a
funny.
lion. You're a lion.
Take a fucking
That's just the soundboard.
I don't want to meme the soundboard, okay? I don't want to act like the soundboard is a thing I ever did more than once. Okay, technically I did it more than once, but not to other people.
How many
did it.
Not to you guys.
You did it to me twice.
No, I didn't.
You did it to me that
When
one
was the
time,
second-
and then the time right before that. I mean, after that.
Yes,
So anyway,
those
I don't want
times.
to I don't want to explain the soundboard here. I don't want to make the soundboard into this whole thing. So being John Malkovich,
A cubic inch of soundboard.
Nice.
So this movie was pretty quirky, as it turns out. I can say that. So basically, a man in a very strange, like the whole world I thought was just kind of fucked up here. I thought there was gonna be some weird, like, it turns out everyone was gonna be wizards or something, but no, everything's just kind of quirky. He's a puppeteer. He does puppets, and one day he finds a portal in his office that leads into the mind of great acting legend John Malkovich that just lets you
From the Jewel Thief
see.
movie.
Yeah,
Cool.
it just lets you see John Malkovich for 15 minutes at a time, and then eventually he becomes John Malkovich. That's the best summary I can give, honestly.
For like 8 months. Instead of 15.
This movie seemed somewhat anti-puppeteer. It was
did
like
not
it had
like
a strange
puppeteer.
agenda against puppeteers because there were a bunch of lines where like at the beginning of the movie when he gets punched in the face, his wife's like, "Oh, what happened?" He's like, "I'm a puppeteer." Haha. And then
so
like
first we've got shows that are against nuclear energy, then we've got mangas that are against saving people, now we've got movies against puppeteers? What's next? A book against plumbers?
That would be pretty fucking crazy.
yeah, it was just like it was so strange because like and then when later on when he frickin' destroyed his wife, like held a gun
time?
to her and everything.
Oh.
He was like, "Why are you doing this?" He's like, "I don't know, I'm a puppeteer." It's like, what does Charlie Kaufman have against puppeteers?
I bet like
To
a
be fair,
puppeteer
do
killed
you-
his dog.
Do you have much respect for puppeteers?
If they were good, then probably, yeah. I just
If
don't
they
know
were-
any puppeteers.
If they were as good as
He
this
did it.
puppeteer, I would have respect for them.
I
Yeah.
will say he was a really good
He
puppeteer.
was
Yeah.
a pretty fucking insane puppeteer. Honestly, I don't know. He was kind of fucking crazy.
Kinda.
Uh-huh.
It
Very.
was very fucking crazy. But like, it also seems like the movie was a bit stacked against him. But at the same time, he was
Is he the
trying to cheat on
Joker?
his wife with fucking Catherine Keener. So
Yeah. But like his wife was cheating on him with the same person, so like
okay, but his wife was Cameron Diaz. I don't think, honestly, if you were married to Cameron Diaz, would you cheat on Cameron Diaz?
It
If
depends. Does she have a chimp
was
or no?
Zookeeper, if she was a zookeeper, I don't think I would have married her to begin with, to be honest.
Wait, so when you say zookeeper, like, what do you have against zookeepers?
yeah.
I am a person against zookeepers. If you were to review me, that's what you would say. Not that I hate zookeepers or anything.
I
Just
hate 'em.
I don't want to be living with fucking animals my whole life. My
Yeah,
animals like monkeys and shit. I go deal
Yeah, I
with
was
a
gonna.
dog or a
I was
cat.
gonna say.
I don't necessarily think that all zookeepers keep chimpanzees and iguanas in their house though,
Yes,
and
I
birds.
think she was just
Racist
also kind of
to
crazy.
assume that.
Yeah.
Well, I am judgmental and make assumptions about people, and that's what I'm assuming.
I think
I love at the beginning though. He looks at the monkey, at the chimp, and he's like, "Man, everything must be so simple for you guys." And I was just thinking about like the meme that's like, "Reject humanity, embrace monkey."
I did. All right. I got a lot out of this movie, but I do want to just cover this real
I
quick.
got like nothing out of this movie.
I have a lot to talk about, but real quick at the beginning, I do just want to talk about fucking. Did anyone notice the main character is played by Joan Cusack's brother, who's like
Yeah,
never
John
done anything
Cusack.
else?
Who
he's
is
in
that?
it well. He's in a ton
He
of
was
stuff.
in Con Air.
Yeah, okay.
I don't fucking know.
I knew John Cusack before I knew Joanne Cusack.
What?
I knew him before I knew her.
I don't
Like,
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
just
John
I don't know
found
either.
Cusack is a bigger
that-
name. In at least I've heard of John Cusack. I haven't really heard of Joanne.
You've never heard of
But
Joan
here's the
Cusack?
thing: John Cusack was in Con Air with John Malkovich.
Crazy.
What?
He's
Crazy.
also in 2012. Let's not forget his best role.
Who's even seen 2012?
Me.
Nice.
I was
I
like a big
saw it,
2012
like, when it
end of the
came out.
world person. Like 11-year-old me really thought I was gonna die as a 12-year-old.
You're an idiot.
Catherine Keener. Catherine Keener played. I think her name was Maxine, right? I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catherine Keener played Maxine. She's the mom in Get Out. I was wondering where I recognized her from.
Huh.
Huh. Oh, that's so weird. I didn't notice that.
She seems like she would play an evil mom or evil older woman character in like a Disney Channel movie.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
We're in this movie.
Yeah.
if this movie wasn't so, it's so-
Weird.
yeah, it could have been a Disney Channel movie. And another,
Honestly,
it's a pretty
fuck
Disney Channel
Maxine.
premise.
Actually, I mean, fuck everyone in this movie. Literally everybody in this movie is like irredeemably bad except for John Malkovich.
Yeah, he's the only.
Yeah,
sane
basically, I
human
hated every single
one.
character, and I didn't enjoy this at all.
And Charlie Sheen. Don't forget about the random
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen.
I-
I thought that was
Like
kind
every
of
minute that I was
I
watching
hated
it,
it.
I was looking at the time, like, when is this gonna end? I want to stop watching.
I hated every single character, but I was thoroughly entertained the whole time. I'm
Yeah, me
like, this
too.
is
Oh, yeah.
funny.
Was
as
this supposed to
hell.
be a comedy?
Yeah, kind of.
Yes,
It's up to you.
it's a quirky cult comedy with like kind of a dark comedy, I guess.
I
A
didn't
really
laugh.
fucked up comedy.
I was just like,
you
what
did
is
not
happening?
laugh the entire
No.
time.
No.
Even like when Charlie Sheen
Really?
showed up with like the balding cap, like that's his classic slapstick.
I feel like the only time
That's
I
so
almost chuckled was when the puppeteer guy was just like, man, I hate my life and everything. And then the asshole was just like, she just like tilted her head towards the window. And I was like, ha. And that was it.
Okay, I'm gonna say something here that at the very least Dan and Kyle are going to say that I'm an idiot for, alright?
Right.
I had, for some reason, I don't even know why I had thought this, but I thought I heard before this movie that John Malkovich was not the one playing John Malkovich in this. And so the entire movie, I didn't think that it was actually John Malkovich. Like, I've only really seen him in Con Air.
Okay.
So I, like, just from that, I was like, yeah, he kind of sounds a little bit different in this. Yeah, I guess that's probably not John Malkovich. He looks pretty similar, but, like, yeah, just a little bit different. Yeah, no, that can't be him. And then I saw in the credits it's John Malkovich, and I'm like, oh, that was John Malkovich.
So I do want to say, Luke, that you're wrong, and that I've heard that also, but I haven't. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I think you're kind of stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. That was like that's kind of.
I don't even know who that
The
is.
film is called
who that
Being John Malkovich. You think that fucking John Malkovich just didn't sign on?
I think that would be a funny.
I don't know.
joke, though.
There's
I know,
many
that's
movies
entirely
about people where
possible.
the movies
They
aren't
could have found it.
where
They
they aren't
literally could have
them.
done this with like any fucking actor. They could have done it with Harrison Ford, sex icon Harrison Ford.
I don't know. It could have been funny if they did it about John Malkovich and they just had a guy playing John Malkovich. You
Yeah, 'cause
know?
that's
Yeah,
the-
it's not an unbelievably unreasonable thing to think. Like,
guess,
I
but, like,
have
I mean-
certainly seen movies where people don't play themselves.
I don't know. I
once,
just kind
I
of
do have to say though, once you see the movie and you see
Yeah.
that John Malkovich is in the movie, it is a little unreasonable. But
It's not like I've seen boatloads of John Malkovich. I don't know.
I
don't
only
know, he's
like,
a pretty
when I heard about
recognizable
this
voice.
movie,
Yeah,
Does
I
he?
always
heard about
I
it.
have
recognize him.
literally only seen him in Con Air. I've never seen any like periphery John Malkovich material. I don't read the John Malkovich books. I don't read the comics. I don't watch the John Malkovich TV show. I don't know where you guys are getting your expanded universe John Malkovich content from.
Okay,
Just
I
kind
will-
of the cultural zeitgeist. John Malkovich is just, he's just there.
Who the fuck is
Yeah.
John Malkovich?
John Malkovich.
Two
Okay,
people.
John Malkovich has been in a shitload of things that you'd never guess he was in, but none of
The
them
Death
are like
of a Salesman, he was in that. I looked up his filmography when Maxine asked what John Malkovich was in, and I was like, I don't know what John Malkovich has been in.
He was in the
Space Force,
1992
apparently.
adaptation of Mice and Men.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
No, that's
Classic.
that's why in the fucking restaurant when the guy was like, "I loved when you played that retard." He's talking about fucking of Mice and Men. He played-
Ah.
Look, even Dan didn't get that one. You can't say I'm a complete
Oh, yeah,
idiot
no,
for
I
not knowing
think-
the full IMDb of John Malkovich.
I really only know John Malkovich because of this movie, and I knew it as the movie in which John Malkovich plays a lot of versions of himself.
Okay, well I didn't know that. I didn't know it was that.
I
Also,
saw
that
him
was
in
only
like
one scene, so that's not even really a good thing to know John Malkovich from in this movie.
He was in Secretariat, starring Secretariat.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Dude, I'm looking through his IMDb right now. Oh, he was in Transformers: Dark of the Moon. I must be
Oh,
a
yeah.
fucking dumb one for
Forgot
not
about
having
that.
seen that.
He's in fucking Aragon.
It's not much that you haven't seen stuff that he's in. It's just he's kind of like a cultural phenomenon. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's John Malkovich without ever having seen a John Malkovich movie.
John Malkovich stars in that fucking movie that's not coming out for another 100 years.
Don Quixote?
Which one?
What are
All
you
of
talking
them?
about?
Fucking, it's that dumbass. You ever seen this? The dumb King Louis like wine ad that's like, it takes Louis the 14th 100 years to come to perfection.
That's
How
Avatar.
long we're going to That's how long we're going to wait to release this movie. It's like 2104, the movie you'll never see, or something like that.
Why are they advertising for it?
How?
100 years, 2115. That's what it's called. It's called 100 years.
It's not coming out till 2115.
Nope.
But it's a movie about Louis the 14th.
I do like how.
So what is there? How are they making their money? Is there merchandise now? Why they put so
I'm
much
really-
into this
I'm
movie,
really-
knowing they're
I've-
probably going to
Robert-
be dead for it?
Robert Rodriguez made it with John Malkovich and fucking King Louis like wines or whatever funded them, and they filmed it so that they could advertise alcohol.
God,
And
I
then-
can't believe I haven't seen this movie that I will literally not be able to see for
I do-
another
I
95 years.
I do like how Google still has it as 100 Years as an upcoming experimental science fiction film. Yeah, really
Upcoming.
coming up there.
Alright, so kind of shifting from John Malkovich to Charlie Kaufman, I just saw that he was meant to make a comedy musical about internet anger culture starring Jack Black, Nicolas Cage, and Steve Carell. But it was
Like,
never made.
Steve
I know
Carell,
those people.
the guy from the Minecraft movie.
Yes,
Yeah, dude.
the Minecraft movie.
Man, I cannot wait for the Minecraft movie to come out. That's gonna be so good.
I am curious. I want to see what'll happen. I don't know if it's ever coming
You
out.
know what's
but
I'm hyped
John
for?
Malkovich is the
Five
the
Nights at
FNAF
Freddy's
movie?
movie. Yeah, bro.
I know. So going back to the movie, maybe.
No.
I don't
no.
wanna.
So Craig, the main character, his office is on the 7.5 floor, which is just like It's like half the size of a normal floor. It's just
Yeah.
really small ceilings. And I was thinking the whole time, like everyone's backs must be in such bad condition. You know?
I know.
Like I slouch for 2 seconds and I'm out for the rest of the fucking day. Like even if I just had to act in this movie, if I was a background like extra and they put me on the 7.5 floor and they were like, okay, you just gotta slouch for a bit, I would be dead. I would legitimately die.
So wait,
Yeah,
That's
it's-
all I was thinking about.
I do have a
feel like-
question about the floor. So the pirate man was the one who like built the floor for his like short wife, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
According to the story, but Maxine says it's bullshit.
okay, but we
But
know the
Maxine's a
pirate exists
Meanie.
because he's
'Cause
the
of Lester.
old man guy. So by that logic, did he bring his short wife with him? And who's his short wife? And if he did, why is he cheating on her with the secretary? What happened to the short wife?
So he said that okay, so to give a little bit more context here, we find out that the whole reason there's a portal into John Malkovich's mind is because this one old boss dude is using it to stay immortal, because once John Malkovich turns 44, or once any of the subjects turn 44, he's able to go into their minds and like transfer into their body. He had said near the end that he made it seem like he just figured out how to bring other people with him, and that like the other times he transferred bodies, it was just him. So I assume he only knew how to transfer his own body, and his dwarf wife must have died.
Damn, that's sad.
At
But also, like,
at a natural age, so probably not that bad.
didn't he say that he found the portal though? So that was like,
Yeah.
No,
just
I think
part
there
of.
might be a portal for everyone. You know, you just gotta find them.
I don't think there is.
No.
I think it might just be like the host's lineage you can get into their mind.
Yeah.
One thing with that whole concept that I really didn't understand, or like, I'm just like, why didn't they do this? So, Lester makes it seem like you can only go into somebody once they're 44, once they're like ripe, you know? But John Malkovich was not 44 by the time Craig went in and took control of him. So like, was it just because Craig was really good at puppeteering that he could control him, or was Lester just an idiot for not going into 43-year-old John Malkovich?
I think
No, he actually got his birthday wrong.
I think the implication was that Craig was like really good at controlling people, and he was able to do it like earlier. I don't think it was like a true or false, like you can control them. I think it just gets easier up until 44. And
Well,
at 44.
That could make sense, I guess.
It's definitely, and I will say I do disagree with Dan here. They definitely hinted at the fact that Craig was only able to do that because of the way he looks at puppeteering, and it is like being in someone else's skin. And since he's used to feeling that way, he said he made friends with John Malkovich's body and kind of assimilated his consciousness with it. And
God,
That
I
sounds
really
like a Weekend at
John
Bernie's type of
Malkovich's
deal.
body.
the main reason I disagree with Dan is because after he turns 44, instead he now goes into an infant child, some random infant child's body.
Well, yeah, but like
Well, yeah, that's what he was
once
saying.
he's 44 is like the easiest it gets until it goes into the other person. Like to control any one person.
That's like the
before they-
overflow.
I suppose, but when they're an infant, wouldn't you? I would assume that since they're not even fucking conscious, it would be pretty easy to control them. But he said,
Well, no, they said that like the subconscious is murky, so you get lost in it or something. Like
no, he just says that you get assimilated. You get like
into the subconscious because they're a child.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look,
No, Dan's right
That's
here.
what happens.
that
Then he becomes
plot
the
point isn't
subconscious
even the
of
main
the child.
like that plot point isn't even the main point that the fucking movie's trying to go for. In fact, I wouldn't even know what the fucking main point the movie's trying to go for. I think it's just fucking weird knowing Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah. I don't think there was really any like message here. You know,
I think
was
The
kinda
message is
thinking,
that it would be kind of cool to be John Malkovich.
I was
I-
thinking at first maybe like going into John Malkovich's mind was supposed to be like a surveillance state metaphor. And I was like, no, that doesn't really work. And then I was like, oh, it's kind of supposed to be like a drug, you know? Craig's wife, I can't remember her name. Fuck. She basically describes it like a drug of like trying to relive the high of going into
Yeah.
John Malkovich's mind. But I don't think that the movie was really pushing a drug message.
Yeah.
I think it just had that.
I think it had like a couple different messages to it that you could probably take from it.
I think though that the movie is making fun of people like us that are trying to draw so much meaning out of it.
Yeah.
It's about like the first couple times they go in, they're specifically like, there must be some great meaning, and then fucking Maxine's just like, nah, who cares? Let's make fucking money off of it. So I think honestly, those scenes where the two of them go in for the first time, what's his name, the puppeteer and his wife,
Craig.
and they're like, wow, that's crazy. This changes everything. There's so much meaning to this. And then Maxine just being like, no. I think that's just made to make fun of us, being like, there is no meaning. It's just stupid.
Even
Well,
Max
you're
found more than
interpreting
the-
meaning right now, so are you stupid?
And also, we
Everyone's
kind of
stupid.
agreed that it was just weird. It didn't have much of an overall message.
Mm.
It's what you take from it. That's all that really
I
matters.
took nothing from it.
Also,
It's so
everybody
fun.
in this movie is incredibly sexual. Just like,
Yeah.
like don't watch this in front of your parent.
Yeah.
Or just
Yeah.
don't watch it.
Yeah, my favorite scene,
I would say watch. We'll get to that later.
my favorite scene, I will say, there was one scene that was kind of transphobic, but it was like, I don't think it was that bad. Where they kind of play off the main character, the puppeteer's wife, coming out to him as trans as a joke. I don't think it was
Yeah.
intended that way, but they definitely did do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was a little bit weird. I wasn't sure what we were supposed to gain from that. Like, is Craig just being a dick here, or like is his wife being crazy? I don't know. It was a strange thing to include, especially because she kind of just seems to get over it, you know?
Yeah.
She kind of
I think
seems
it's
to,
kind of
to be
Craig
fine.
being a
It
dick.
seems like she just wanted to be with Maxine. But I did write on a note, Craig is transphobic. I also wrote, and I'm wondering if anyone can enlighten me on this, because I have no fucking clue what this means. I wrote, 9/11 time travel, nah.
Well, they showed the Twin Towers from the New Jersey Turnpike, and that's probably
Yeah.
what you were talking about. But I don't know
yes,
where the time
because,
travel came from.
Yeah. What?
Oh, it was because I wasn't sure when this movie was
Oh.
made, and I
Oh.
had to look it up. And
Yeah,
it
it was
was like in
99.
99 or something. And I'm like, did he just time travel? And then I wrote nah because I looked it up and it was made. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for enlightening me, because I really had no idea.
Like,
One
oh my
thing
god, they're showing the Twin Towers. That must mean that he time traveled. It's like, oh no, wait, never mind. It's
One
just
thing I thought was neat was that like Maxine never actually used the portal. She's like the only one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
That is
interesting. Really says a lot about her. You know, she's just very comfortable in her own skin. She doesn't need to be somebody else. But she just happens to be a bitch comfortable in her own skin.
She's not comfortable with other people's skin.
Okay.
I found the resolution really funny though to this movie. As far as endings go, it was really fucked up, wholesome, and like kind of funny all at the same time. Like that's a good trifecta.
How is it in any way wholesome? What is
Well,
wholesome
because
about
because
it?
Because, like-
Maxine and Cameron Diaz were happy together, and
And
they
they
had
had
a
a
daughter,
kid,
and they were just happy,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but the daughter
I
was
mean,
the
they were
guy.
they were happy, but they were both complete awful people, just terrible, just
Yeah,
the
but
worst.
still in a way wholesome that people are happy.
I don't.
Like
I don't
that
know,
girl
dude.
probably
I-
grew
People
up
are
in like a
happy.
loving household. It seems like
Yeah.
it's going to be a nice family for her. So like that's nice.
I don't know, dude. Maxine seems very manipulative. I wouldn't put it past her
It
to
seems
just
like she kind of
drop
grew
the
like,
woman
towards
after
the
a
end.
little bit.
Like that was like the whole point of her in the third act was like she kind of felt bad about everything she did. I think it kind
I
of
mean,
like
she felt
implied
at
that-
least a little bit bad, but I don't think there was really much like.
It seemed like the
character
implication
growth
was
going
that she
on
was
here.
kind of growing as a character, and I appreciated that.
I don't think anyone grew.
Well, I mean, at least
Well, actually, he got longer hair.
and she got pregnant, so she grew in that way.
I think the only wholesome thing about it was seeing Craig suffering.
That was the fucked up part. And then it was also funny because he was suffering, so it gets all three. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, I like how he was
yeah,
like,
and then,
"Oh yeah, haha, Lester, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna kick you out of Malkovich's body," and then he's like, "Oh no," because he gets put in the little girl's body instead and has absolutely no control. I thought that was really good
Why isn't he able to leave?
because he was pushed down into the subconscious,
Yeah, but other people left.
not the child.
Yeah, you can't leave the child subconscious.
what,
They were
able to
what,
leave
what we've
Malkovich
what
in.
we've agreed upon is that it seems like it gets like just easier to leave as they, or like easier to control and leave and do stuff in as they get older.
Yeah.
And once they hit 44, it's baby time.
Yeah. Every single
What, or is it
person,
like after a
has
couple years, he's just gonna get
before.
forced out.
I don't think he's gonna get forced out. I think he's stuck there now. He went
Yeah.
in too early and now he's trapped in there forever.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much worse than like hell, Which sounds awful.
Just close your eyes.
You know, constant, like, just living in the subconscious of a child watching your ex-wife and the woman who you cheated on be happy together raising you. Also, I love the fact that Maxine specifies that it was the other woman's child because the other woman was in John Malkovich's mind when they had sex.
Yeah.
So no matter who was in his head, it's still John Malkovich's kid. Like,
Nobody called the cops on the guy for. I mean, like, he disappeared for 8 months.
I mean, nobody cared about him, so.
I feel like there should at least be like a missing person thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
no one's looking.
Who would report it?
Probably. Actually, wait a minute.
Yeah, like nobody really cared. So.
Also, one thing I didn't really think about the ending was Cameron Diaz's character had 6 months to be taught like all the mechanics of the portal from Lester and friends. So do you think she realized that her kid could very easily get taken over and that she would try to do something about that? She was part of that cult for a few months?
I guess not. Also, her name's Lottie.
Lottie.
I looked it up just because I knew it was some stupid name.
That's an interesting name.
Spelled L-O-T-T-E. No I in there. No I-E.
Oh, I've actually seen that name before.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know where, but
Lottie
it's very
from
familiar.
Animal Crossing. But there's an I in there.
I will say I think the funniest part of the movie to me is because thinking back on it, that scene where John Malkovich finds out about the portal and is running through the building and then goes into his own portal and everything. And during that whole time, my only thought was what the fuck did the Japanese guy that was already in the portal see during all that shit? He must have felt.
He was having a great time.
Yeah, he came out and he was
he
was like, hell yeah, that was sick.
That must have been so fucking weird for him.
Malkovich.
Man. Malkovich has big tits, you know?
Do you wanna elaborate?
Oh no, we were talking about the scene where Malkovich goes inside of himself, and then he's across from female Malkovich.
Yeah. No, I knew what you meant. I just figured that could use some elaboration.
For the viewers.
No, of course not.
Oh, also, Brad Pitt had a literal 1 second long cameo.
Yeah, that was so weird.
I recognized Brad Pitt. I was just like, oh, is that Brad Pitt?
I did not notice
that. I know, I was like...
You're an idiot, Dan. You don't even know Brad Pitt.
That was really funny, because he was just Maxine was there, and Brad Pitt just looked really confused in that shot. He's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, there was a lot of famous at the time actors like fucking Sean Penn, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I mean Brad Pitt's still pretty famous.
Brad Pitt is still pretty famous. Charlie Sheen definitely isn't.
Charlie Sheen is way more famous, but in a bad way. Yeah.
You know, the one thing I got from this movie,
Tiger Blood.
This movie really made you feel like John Malkovich.
I don't know. I still really don't know much about the guy. He kind of has a weird voice, you know.
Yeah.
He sounds completely different in this than in the one movie I've seen of him.
He has range.
He's got a somewhat timid voice, you know.
Yeah.
He's more timid than I'd expect.
It was also incredibly impressive for him to he took on every mannerism that the puppeteer had when he was the puppeteer.
He's a method actor. He became a puppeteer.
Yeah,
and that's where they got all that footage of him puppeteering.
Say what you want, but he is a very good actor.
Yeah.
It was definitely believable when he changed people who were controlling him.
What do you mean? Say what you want?
Yeah, I'm confused.
That he's not.
We're just saying who is he?
The audience, Luke, not you. Don't feel so special.
Yeah, but nobody.
I don't know. Are you just assuming that the audience is gonna be hating on John Malkovich?
I don't know.
Right now?
Yeah, John Malkovich is a pretty universally liked actor. I don't know anybody
who dislikes him.
Someone out there.
The person who's only seen Bird Box.
Yeah.
on Wikipedia, they credit him John Malkovich as John Horatio Malkovich.
Maybe
but
they
then
made up the middle
Charlie, no, wait, hold on. John Malkovich as John Horatio Malkovich, Charlie Sheen as himself. So, that implies that John Horatio Malkovich is different. Is he?
No,
It
Charlie
is
Sheen
different.
just like wandered
Wait a minute,
on.
his middle name isn't Horatio. It's Gavin.
Gavin, what the hell?
Okay, I guess it's.
I'm literally so confused right now.
Well, John
It's
Horatio
different from
Malkovich was a
Malkovich.
character that he had to become for the role. You know, John Gavin Malkovich is a completely different type of person. That's why
So
his
Charlie
voice
Sheen
was
was just
timid, I guess.
himself. He just like wandered into like the film, and they're like, "Okay, keep it rolling."
Yeah,
And he was like, "Hey, I think I found a way for us to live forever." And he's like, "I don't understand." And they're like, "You're on a movie. Keep it going."
I can't believe literally just saw this. That he's literally playing a different person. Just it's a different middle name and nothing else.
he's a very, very similar person to the real John Malkovich.
He's like one parallel universe across, you know, like the smallest
Yeah.
possible difference. He just has a different middle name, and people think he was in a Jewel Thief movie and nothing else.
Oh man, it is unbelievable how awful the people are in this movie. Like, like especially considering the beginning, you just think it's gonna be some tortured guy just going around having a time, you know, being John Malkovich. But then he's like, why?
At the beginning,
why is-
no, I didn't think that. I had no idea what was happening.
At
Kevin,
the
it sounds like
beginning,
a
I was
you
just
problem.
I was just thinking, I bet people would like this guy if he just made more normal puppet shows, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe instead of doing the weird sexual puppet shows on the street that he was doing, he could have just done something normal that kids would like. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe then you wouldn't have gotten beaten up.
I also
Bad.
remember like when he was going in for the interview, he didn't even like button his jacket, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Come on, gotta at least button your
To
jacket.
an interview.
That like
Yeah.
interview scene was very slapstick at first. Like, oh, look at this
Yeah.
old funny guy. He says funny things, and the roof's really small. And then it got weird.
But it was funny. He,
It
It was funny.
He wrote a made up letter and he was like, "Hey, which letter comes first, this one or this one?" And he's like, that's just a scribble."
It's like, damn, you're
It was
good.
actually Durf.
I did enjoy that.
It's the
But
number
we're a
between
little
6
bit-
and
Kevin,
7.
deep cut.
Charlie Kaufman has a very like specific way of writing dialogue, I think, because I noticed it in this, and I noticed it in the other movie I've seen by him. I'm thinking of Ending Things. That he just has this way of writing dialogue that makes you feel really fucking uncomfortable, and if the actors like play it well, it's like it's awful to watch in a good way.
No, I think it was just awful to watch.
Well, you're also stupid, so.
Wow, you really showed him.
I've noticed that.
No, I don't know. I liked his dialogue. I liked.
Yeah, well, it's like specifically in the bar scene with Maxine when he goes on the date the first time.
Yeah.
He's like simping. First of all, definition of a simp, dude. Come
Yeah.
on, mediocre pussy at best. Anyway,
You can't say that.
Why not?
because I've never fucked Maxine, dude. Come on,
Yeah.
definitely mediocre pussy. But it just when he's in that bar, like the fucking. I'm trying to respect women. What, you don't like my tits? What are you, a fag? He's a fag. I'm getting out of here. And then it's so uncomfortable, but I don't know, it's so good. It's so funny.
I was
yeah,
just uncomfortable.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've only
Yeah.
seen one other.
Where were
Kaufman
my
movie,
fight scenes?
Which was Eternal Sunshine, which I really like that one. But I did notice this one was a lot more. It leaned more into the uncomfortable aspects of the dialogue. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Yeah, Craig was just such a weird character at the beginning, at least. He was just like so weak. Just like he just seemed like he was gonna be pushed over at like any
Nick is
moment.
gonna
And
come
then
up and push him over.
yeah, I was about to. I almost pushed my computer off my desk.
Okay, but you know what's weird is that before he learns how to control Malkovich, there's like the 15-minute window of
Mhm.
of being able to experience John Malkovich, and all of the sex that was had in this movie with either Craig or
Lottie.
his wife, or Lottie having sex with Maxine was all within that 15-minute window.
Yes.
And I feel like that would just be like so stressful and not enjoyable. You know.
Well, the
Like,
the
how
last
good of a sex
time
are you really getting in there?
the last
But
time
it's John
when
Malkovich.
Craig the last time Craig had sex as John Malkovich with Maxine, he was in there for a while. So
Yeah,
at least
but
one
a lot
sex
of-
was not 15 minutes.
A lot of them, most of them were 15 minutes. Or well, not when there was the long like 8-month span of him being John Malkovich. But
Yeah.
I just feel what kind of sex are you really getting there? I don't know.
What?
They
15
said
minutes
at one
worth.
point they said like they were gonna make John Malkovich eat an omelet off of the floor or something.
Yeah.
Something more sexual
They
than
were,
that.
they were gonna
Off
have
the,
But I
well,
was
they're
like,
gonna fuck on the
bitch.
table and then have John Malkovich eat the
Oh, yeah,
omelet
yeah.
off the table, and then John Malkovich broke through for a second and screamed at
That
hearing
was
that.
fucked up.
So they were saying that in 15 minutes they were going to not only have sex on the table, make an omelet, and eat the omelet.
They could definitely
No way.
do that if
That
they
was-
did
well,
it
that
quick.
Wasn't that a when he?
during
There you
he was controlling him. Remember?
Well, yeah, but they didn't know that he was going to be there for a long time at that point.
Yeah,
suppose,
they didn't.
but, like, yeah.
But I mean, like, if they did like a quick pump and dump and then like a nice quick omelet, I bet you could do that.
I mean, how long does it take for them to get from the drop-off point back into the portal? 5 minutes?
Probably a while.
If
But
the
no,
building's
definitely
in
not 5
downtown
minutes.
Manhattan,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have to
and
go
they end
from
up
New
on-
Jersey Turnpike. Like, the entering New York sign is like near them, so it
It's
takes a
under
while to get
15
back to
minutes.
Manhattan.
New Jersey
It's
Turnpike
under 15 minutes.
just outside of New York City.
Yeah, but it would take a while to get into Manhattan and then up the building.
I mean, think about just parking alone.
I mean,
Yeah.
he put like the people go in the portal and then he goes and picks them up. And it looks like he's waiting there. So it's under 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's probably
That's
easier
true.
to get out of the city and not have to find parking in the city.
Yeah, that's
What
fair.
happens if you drove a car
yeah, I mean,
into the
we
portal?
can't say it probably does only take around 15 minutes to
Yeah.
get there.
So
Hmm.
I'm
So
interested.
you could kind of do an on and off of like 15 minutes of you being in John Malkovich, 15 minutes of normal John Malkovich, and then you get back in.
Yeah, make
It's
John
like, then you
Malkovich
can
make
really
the
finish
omelet.
him off.
I also like they
Are you
they
okay?
never call him. They never fucking call him John Malkovich. They always call him Malkovich. Like he's not even a person. He's just an object. He's like the Malkovich.
Well, that's his name.
I get that, but they just say it like he's not even a person. And I
I
kinda
didn't pick up on that. It was
Like
just
because
his
they're always
name.
like, "How long were you in Malkovich?" Like it's a place or an object.
I mean, that makes sense. That's how they were using him. They were using him
Yeah.
as just a means to an end, and the end was sex and money.
I just think that's a pretty good detail.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's because it's like, who's John? Oh, Malkovich. John's a normal name, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, I guess if we just said John, it would be a little bit weirder.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
like,
that's
I feel like in context, they'd be like, yeah, obviously it's John Malkovich, you know?
How long were you in John? Who?
They're
It
just
could
in the
be
business.
anyone.
Which John? I've been in so many Johns this past few weeks. You have no idea.
John Cusack, John F. Kennedy.
That's what
Nothing
it's
bad.
I am curious about the scene where John Malkovich was like, "I'm gonna see you in court." Like, imagine
Yeah.
going to a lawyer and being like, "I want to sue someone for taking over my mind."
Yeah, you need to like send everyone in the jury through the portal.
You need to like get a new law.
It's like a magic act.
Get a new law. Oh yeah,
Like-
they're gonna set a precedent for that one.
Yeah, landmark cases exist, so
Yeah.
For years to come, that decision will be how we base mind portal cases in the U.S.
So what happened with the piece of wood?
I think
It's
that
just
was mostly
the one that was
symbolism.
covering the portal.
He got it at the end.
no, the one that he was holding, because like he was holding the
Oh.
wood when he went through the first time, and then he had it at the end too.
Oh,
I think that
why?
was supposed to illustrate that when he went through the first time, he lost the wood in the subconscious, and the second time he went through, he was in control like of the subconscious, and then came out with it because he.
Where'd the wood go? Was it just in his mind? Can we put
Yeah.
things into his mind?
I mean, you put your
I
entire
mean,
body
that's what
in there.
people do. The people were disappearing in there.
Okay, well here's what I'm saying, alright? toss a grenade into the portal.
No.
Why? Why do you want to blow up John Malkovich's head?
Will it just come out with the last person who jumps out, or will it blow up his mind?
I mean, it seems like
I-
time passes. So, I assume it would blow up.
But if it blows up, where does the explosion explode?
It would blow.
In his brain.
Or blow up his like memories. He's like, man, all I
He's
can
like,
remember is fire.
John Malkovich is just like he's just talking to someone and his head fucking explodes for no reason.
Well, I think the grenade would be in control of John Malkovich for 15 minutes.
So
Well,
if it
the
explodes, John
like,
Malkovich
experience.
just gets unbelievably angry. Like,
Yeah.
so angry that he actually explodes.
And then like a bunch of shrapnel will just rain down on the turnpike.
Or
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, in a freak accident, like if the grenade becomes in control, the explosion just keeps going, and he becomes a second son.
What?
I'm lost.
He constantly goes through the fucking fusion that the grenade goes through. So
I think we just figured out how to get unlimited energy.
yeah, just
Yeah,
go
what
all
I
we
thought
need
was
is, all we
funny.
need is a portal into John Malkovich's head. That should be easy.
throw a fucking
At the
grenade
beginning,
into-
the first scene of the movie is the puppet show that Craig is putting on for nobody, and
Yeah.
it looks like the puppet dabs at one point, and I was like, haha, this is epic.
wild.
Oh boy.
See, that's why I thought 9/11 was time travel, because I thought that this movie must have been made in like 2017 for them to get that dab.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's already been said, but the puppeteering scenes were really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have. I feel
liked
like
it.
they didn't have to make the puppeteering as good as it was. It was just so good.
Craig's dance, especially, I really think that was choreographed well.
Yeah, I think if all puppeteering was as good as that, I'd be fine with puppeteering just replacing movies like it did with the John Malkovich universe. You
No,
know?
listen. when
Not to
John
imply that I
Malkovich-
have any respect for puppeteers, though.
Oh,
because
yes,
fuck
of course.
those guys.
Listen, when John Malkovich did like the backwards handspring to putting his feet on the wall and then like laying on
Yeah.
the floor, that was the
Yeah.
most impressive thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it would be amazing if John Malkovich like actually was able to do that. That would be super cool.
He just
should-
need-
Yeah, they had to get another actor to play him.
That's what you heard then. There's this one scene where John Malkovich does a backflip to show off his despair, and they got a different actor to play that.
a backflip
show
of
off
despair.
He simply couldn't convey the despair.
Yo, look at how sad I am, guys. One of the notes I had, I wrote, imagine being the actor who played John Malkovich.
I have something written down. I said, "Imagine being John Malkovich in this movie." So we had the same note there.
How do you think the pitch went? Do you think they got John Malkovich signed on early? Like, do you think they had to fucking go up to him and be like, hey, we want to make this movie where we get a bunch of people to go into this little door in a random office building, and then they become you?
No, actually, it was
See,
becoming Nicolas
knowing-
Cage at first, but they couldn't get him, so they had to change the script.
No, I was legitimately gonna say that. Knowing the fact that they actually did get John Malkovich, I could totally believe that this was like being insert actor here, and they were just like, whoever's like the coolest actor we can get, that it would be the funniest for people to become him. That's who we should have. Now, if they had had a different actor to play John Malkovich, I would have been like, ooh, obviously they just thought the idea of John Malkovich was funnier than whether or not they could get John Malkovich, and so that's why it was John Malkovich. They must have designed this with specifically John Malkovich in mind.
I don't know. I do think,
So it
I do
could have been
think
anyone.
the title Being John Malkovich is a lot snappier than being Nick Cage.
No, being Nicolas Cage sounds like a way better movie.
Well, you're also biased against this movie. If it was the same fucking
What do you mean
movie-
I'm biased against this movie?
You've been talking about how much you hate it the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't like it. That's not
You
biased.
think it would have
That's what I'm
been?
saying.
It would have been better if it was Nicolas
No, the
Cage,
title,
but everything
the title.
else was the
Oh,
same.
the title. No, I disagree.
I completely disagree. Malkovich
John
is such a
Malkovich.
good like name when it comes to theatrics. It's like such a wacky, not wacky. It's such a like theatrical name, I guess. I don't know. It's so
It's
cool.
the title is
Also-
snappy, I think.
Yeah.
Being John
Also-
Malkovich. I don't know. It's got some like aggression to it.
Nicolas
almost.
Yeah,
Cage.
specifically from like an English perspective, it's because of the way the syllables of Malkovich work out and how they're stressed. Because like, if Nicolas Cage's name was switched around because Nicholas is a 3-syllable word, it would also be good. Like if it was being like Cage Nicholas. But
That
it's
does sound
not
better.
how it is, but because his name is Nicholas and then Cage.
Being
It's an
Nick
unstressed
Cageless.
at the end. Yeah.
Something better.
Being Nicageless.
So really, they probably designed it around the name. You know, they were like, yeah, John Malkovich. We don't really know. I don't know if he would be the best person for this, but he definitely has the best name for the title. Because being John Malkovich just sounds so much better than like
Being Jack
Being
Black.
Nick Cage.
being Keanu Reeves.
Being
Now, if they had
Brad
gotten-
Pitt.
If they had gotten Jack Nicholson, that would have been a fucking movie.
Being Harrison Ford.
I mean, this was a movie, don't get me wrong. Say what you will, audience, this was a movie.
I disagree. This was not a movie.
This was.
I watched this as a mini series. I watched it in little chunks.
I watched it in 2 parts.
Nice.
Why?
Because I
I was
watched
kidding
it
about watching
because
it
because I started it at night and then I was like, it's too late, I have class in the morning. And then I finished it.
Yeah,
at
the
night.
intermission.
I respect that.
Yeah, there was an intermission that lasted like 16 hours.
Wow. Those puppet shows are getting really crazy these days. Making people wait for 16 hours just so they can set up more puppets.
Do you know what part I did like about the movie now I think about it? It was
What?
like at
Most
the
of it.
end when they had like his like it was on TV, like the special about him.
Yeah.
I thought that was very very well done. It seemed very realistic.
I really like Sean Penn being like, dude, I'm gonna be a puppeteer now. It's just like movies are
You know, we
done.
don't want to jump on the bandwagon
Yeah.
or anything, but
It's like by the time it becomes reasonable for me to do it and people won't make fun of me, I'm gonna be a puppeteer.
It was very.
what do you
tough.
think John Malkovich's agent would actually do if he just came up and was like, I want to become a puppeteer?
You'd be like, haha, I remember that movie.
It depends. It depends on how much of an asshole John Malkovich actually is, probably.
Mhm. John Malkovich. He didn't seem like
This was the real John Malkovich. He wasn't that much of an asshole.
Well, I mean, like
At all.
no. Remember the manager guy was like, "Oh man, we can't keep him waiting again because presumably something really bad happened last time."
Oh yeah, yeah.
No,
That's true.
I think what they meant in that situation, because they had him waiting in the lobby at that time, and it was like, Mr. Malkovich is here. Should I send him in? He said, yes, send John in, and don't ever keep him fucking waiting again. Because I guess like the secretary kept him waiting, and he was like, no, that's bad from our clients. We don't want them to be waiting. John is a very big client. Send him in immediately. Just don't fucking keep him waiting. Just always.
No. Malkovich
No, that-
is a very big client.
Not
Not John. We don't call
No,
him John
It
around.
definitely seemed more like John Malkovich like blew up at them, but for keeping
I
him
don't know.
waiting.
Grenade.
Specifically, I disagree. Just because specifically, it seemed like he was being very nice to him, and he also called her a cunt at the desk. So it seems like he didn't like the secretary and liked John, and just wanted to fucking be like more polite to John than just keep him waiting.
It's
in the
not a
line.
secretary.
John-
It's whatever joke they said.
Nice.
John Malkovich seemed nice to the taxi driver.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think
true.
There was one other person he interacted with that I was like, oh, he's polite.
Yeah, but he does definitely have roles where he's an asshole. So I think that's just what I got from
They
it.
rubbed off on him.
Yeah.
Put
The real John
Funny
Malkovich in the
back in
fake
the
John
box.
Malkovich world is an asshole.
He's such a fucking character actor that when he played that guy in the Jewel Thief movie, he actually stole a shitload of money.
Yeah, he was like, wait,
Remember when-
I didn't play a jewel thief movie. I was a jewel thief, but I didn't play him in a movie.
Remember when he fucking threatened a stuffed bunny with a gun?
What?
Yeah.
That was
in Con Air, he holds up the bunny that Nicolas Cage is trying to get because it was a gift for his daughter, and he says like, "Stop her, the bunny gets it," and he's holding a gun up to the bunny.
I still have to see that movie.
Con Air is a disastrous masterpiece.
It's so good, honestly. I watched it like a year ago. I want to watch it again.
I've still never seen it.
I've never seen it.
No.
you guys need therapy.
Wow,
Okay.
that was aggressive.
I mean, you didn't know what John Malkovich looked like, so.
I honestly, Luke, I like Con Air. I also think it's a bad movie. It's fucking awful.
It's an awful movie, but it's so good. It's honestly the perfect combination of good and bad, you know? Because, like, there are some so bad it's good movies that I think are just too bad to actually be good. Like, people say they're so bad it's good, but I'm like, no, I don't think it was really good. I feel like Con Air has pretty good, like, just pacing and, like, crazy enough action scenes that you're just, like, fine with it, you know? You're just
I
like,
completely
this is
agree.
fucking hilarious. And then whenever Nicolas Cage says something stupid, you're just cracking up at it because it's like, it's Nicolas Cage being funny.
It's the writers of The Room with a budget and real actors. It's what it is.
Is it?
I mean, it's
Kind
not
of.
literally, but like it's written terribly. But
Yeah, I didn't mean literally. I just meant like it doesn't seem to have that
I
vibe.
don't think it's written that poorly.
I mean, never.
What do you-
We're talking about Being John Malkovich, not Con Air. Save it for the Con Air podcast.
I will, but we're not allowed to suggest movies for next week, so.
Preemptive in 2 weeks Con Air suggestion.
Because in 2 weeks, dude, we gotta do something spooky for,
Yeah,
for October.
Pokemon.
Oh shit.
Con Air butthole cut.
What?
What the hell is that?
It's nothing. It's like the fucking.
Do you ever, like, think about things before you say them? Do you ever, like, stop yourself
I
from
wish
saying
you
something?
stopped saying things and thought about it beforehand.
Okay, well, fine. We'll fucking just watch the cat's butthole cut. How about that, cunt?
Why do we have to watch a butthole
What about
cut?
that?
Yeah,
cut?
I don't.
I mean, hey, that's the cat's butthole cut is a literal thing, though.
No, it was a thing that
It's-
people wanted to happen, but
Yeah, it
isn't a
wasn't
thing.
an official.
It's not a literal thing.
They-
We can't watch it.
They fucking okay. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna talk about the cat's butthole cut right now.
It might exist a version on some intern's hard drive somewhere, but it's not like a
This
thing.
is why you should take internships so you can get files like these.
So you can get the cat's butthole cut.
Yeah, and leak
That's a
it
good idea.
to our,
Yeah, this
to our
So anyway,
listeners. If you have the
Uh,
cat's butthole cut, leak it now.
overall, would you guys recommend the movie Being John Malkovich, not the experience of Being John Malkovich, because we would all recommend that. What did you think? Yes or no?
I loved
Yeah.
the movie. I would not recommend it.
I'd recommend it.
I would absolutely
You did recommend it, Dan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dan, you literally recommended it.
Well, I would do it again.
It's
I enjoyed it a lot. I would recommend it, but with the pretense of like this is a movie that doesn't really have a point. You're not gonna really feel good about yourself after watching it. You're not really gonna feel much of anything other than, oh, that was weird.
I felt really
Yeah.
uncomfortable and I didn't want to watch. I didn't even want to finish it.
I
I
I
don't
did.
get what was so bad about it, Kevin. Like,
All of the characters were extremely unlikable, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I thought this was a comedy, and I just feel bad.
It is a comedy. Sometimes comedies make you feel bad.
I don't
yeah,
like that.
a lot of I mean, comedies have unlikable characters more than other
Yeah,
types
okay,
of
but
movies. I feel.
there are unlikable characters that you just kind of like because they're so unlikable. These were just so unlikable that I didn't want to look at them anymore.
I mean, the movie Midsummer is a comedy, and when I went to see it in theaters, there was one part I laughed really hard at, and the pretentious asshole behind me that thought it was just an art house horror film called me an asshole.
That movie is a comedy.
What does that have to do with anything? Like I'm totally lost.
It's a dark fucking comedy. Look, that pretentious guy probably saw this movie and went, "No, this isn't a comedy. It's got so much meaning behind it." Like people fucking interpret things differently. So if you didn't see it as a comedy, it's easier not to look at it that way. Then it doesn't have to be.
I don't
Okay.
think Midsummer's a comedy.
I don't know, but it
Midsummer
is
definitely
one,
a
though.
comedy, buddy.
It's
I don't
listed
know.
as a horror drama.
Listen, Kyle, I thought you were just saying that you can interpret a movie as whatever
Yeah.
you want. Like, it might not be a comedy for you. Now you're saying Midsummer's definitely a comedy.
Yeah,
I haven't
I think
fucking seen
I'm
Midsummer.
starting
I
to
can't.
agree with that guy. I think you are the pretentious asshole who laughed.
It's a black comedy film, dude.
It's listed as a horror drama.
Okay, well,
I don't know anything about Midsummer. I can't make
Me neither.
judgments about this. I'm just
A movie
confused more
have
than
jokes
anything.
and not be a comedy.
I've heard.
I think
quite a-
this, to clarify, I think this movie was a comedy. I would call this a dark
Yes,
comedy.
this movie was a comedy.
I'm going to say this one thing, and then we can move on. Ari Aster, the director of the movie, is on record as having said the movie, in his mind, is an absurdist dark comedy.
Well, that's his.
Moving on.
You just can
That's the
say
author,
moving on.
bro.
A movie isn't what a director says it is. It's what people take from it.
That's exactly what I was going to
My
say.
ass off at it. I took that it was a dark comedy.
Well,
Dan.
that's you. You're weird.
Okay, and that pretentious guy didn't. And you know what? Maybe he's an idiot, maybe he's not. I have no idea.
I want to move on. I don't want to be here anymore.
I don't want to be here either, but you know what? Sometimes we all gotta do things we don't want to do.
I want to go back to being John Malkovich.
No, I'm fine being here.
I don't
Can I be
think
John
I would want to
Malkovich
be John
too?
Malkovich. He's really old now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely older than 44.
Craig didn't want to be an old guy either. I wish I was in a younger body. I was like, dude, come on, you're John Malkovich, you know? He was only 40.
Yeah. I think I could deal with being 40-year-old John Malkovich.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he can do a freaking back handspring, like, flip
Yeah.
dance.
No, that was his stunt double.
Oh, in universe?
Yeah, Craig called in a stunt double because he was like, "Hey, I don't think I can do this when I have an old body."
And
You know,
took control of that
he has John Malkovich money, so he can just hire a stunt double to follow him around in real life and
he has a stunt double in every single room just in case he needs to do a stunt.
Yeah, exactly.
They're hidden, so you don't notice the transition.
They're ninja stunt doubles. I could go for one of those.
A ninja
Use
stunt double?
Ninja stunt double, yeah. That would be
What would
cool.
you use it for?
Well, you know, just to like make people think I was doing really impressive things. I'd be like, "Hey,
I'd rather do them,
let me
though.
go off into the corner here and then like do a backflip, and then hopefully nobody would notice that it wasn't me doing the backflip, it was the stunt double, and then they'd be like, "Whoa, you're
What
so
if I
cool."
meet you halfway here?
Yeah,
and
but
I
that'd be-
say, I want to have all of the abilities of Kevin and all the powers of a stunt double. All right. So I just want to
How
be
is that
me.
meeting
and-
me halfway? That's just like objectively better than what I said.
Yes. I want to be objectively better than what you said.
All right, well that's objectively better. Good for. I just can't do a backflip. I'm just thinking that it would be useful to have a guy to do backflips.
I don't know. I feel like that would be really unfulfilling and just kind of sad. Everyone would be like, "Wow, that was an amazing backflip, Luke," and then you'd be like, "Haha, I didn't even do it," and then you'd get sad about it.
Well, I wouldn't tell them that. You know, I would feel pretty fulfilled when everyone loves me and nobody loves
It's
you 'cause you
empty
can't do a
love.
backflip.
Neither can you, and it's empty love. They love something you can't
Yeah,
do.
but people love me because they think I can do a backflip, and that's what's important.
Luke, people
They love the idea of you doing a backflip, and you cannot fulfill that promise that you gave to them.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with living a lie.
If I had the power to like lie to people and then have them like believe me, I'd just be like, hey. I
You
can
do have that power.
Yeah, well, you know what? No, I'm talking about like, hey, dude, I can totally like make a girl come from 20 feet away, and then like all my guy friends be like, whoa, that's fucking sick, and then it'd be completely false.
Wait, what was the point of? What are you trying to say?
Yeah,
What I'm getting to is that I would feel nothing about that. I would feel completely fulfilled. Them thinking I could do it even if I couldn't.
I don't like that. Feels like lying.
Yeah,
It is lying. He literally
It
said he was
literally
lying.
is.
Lying is only good if it's funny.
Hey,
Well,
did you guys know I can make a girl wet from like 20 feet away?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, I have a super soaker too.
I don't have a super soaker.
Well,
That was a
you're,
lie.
Neither.
You're not fucking cool.
By the way, that was not a product placement. We are not sponsored by Nerf or Super Soaker.
We're not?
Wait,
Unfortunately, not.
is
Then why
Nerf
am I
who
wearing
makes
this
Super
jersey?
Soakers?
Yes,
Wait.
I'm pretty sure
I never knew.
they use the same font.
So anyway,
Yeah, Nerf makes
wrapping
Super
up.
Soakers.
Any final thoughts about being John Malkovich before we move on to some suggestions?
I
Malkovich.
wish I was John Malkovich.
Yeah, we all do. We all do. Other than the fact that he's old now. He's how
Yeah.
old is John Malkovich?
Probably like 70, like not 70.
Well, he's 40,
He's
so he's probably like 65.
That makes sense.
$66.
Damn.
66. Whoa. Where'd you get that
that's clever.
information?
Google.
Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia that anyone can edit?
We are sponsored by Wikipedia.
Yeah,
I don't, dude. Wikipedia can't afford to sponsor us. Every time you go on there, they're like, "Please give us money." You know, it's all a front.
Is it?
It's how the military
front
gets
for
their
what?
funding.
Ah.
If that's how the military gets their funding? I didn't know that many
Yeah.
people cared about Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's crazy. You never would have thought, but it's the truth.
So
I don't understand it either,
donating,
but
like,
don't ask me.
trillions of dollars.
Yeah,
It's like, hey,
crazy.
could you give $3? It's like, no, I'm not gonna give $3. I'm gonna give you $2 trillion.
The U.S. government just wants to support Wikipedia, but they keep funneling the money.
Wikipedia.
You know, I guess if we need trillions of dollars for Wikipedia, what are we gonna do? Say no?
All right.
So anyway,
I-
suggestion time. I'm gonna officially call it as being suggestion time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my suggestion, I decided I wanted to bring something back, so I'm going to bring back something that Tim had suggested, which is the first 2 Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. I think there's a lot we could talk about with those, you know.
Mhm.
And also, Roderick Rules is not only the best one, but I have a signed copy by Jeff Kinney,
Amazing.
the author.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't just signed by some random dude. It was Jeff Kinney.
Well, I'm going to continue the theme of bringing back something that Tim suggested with Mushroom Men: The Spore Wars.
Damn it.
I don't want to hate on a suggestion, but
Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that.
But
yeah, okay.
I will continue my theme of suggestions and suggest suggest another album. This time I'm suggesting Helplessness Blues by Fleet Foxes. It was one of the best albums of 2011, and I think it really encapsulates the cultural zeitgeist of the mid-2010s to 2020, and I think we can
I
relate
don't-
to it in some way.
wait, the mid 2010s,
Yeah,
like how mid?
like 2013 to like our teenage years is what I'm trying to say.
Huh? Weird. All right, Kevin.
Kevin? Oh.
The...
I'm suggesting Kevin.
Oh, okay.
We review
I'll go to
Kevin.
Rhode Island so I can review
So I'm
it.
gonna say the 2005 Robots movie game for the Game Boy Advance.
Christ.
Okay.
For the it's GBA.
That's a very interesting suggestion, I have to say.
Yeah.
It looks like a 2D platformer, but also puzzle, isometric.
Okay. Dan, do you have a suggestion?
Can I suggest a language?
No.
Sure, dude, go for it.
Um,
I'm saying go for it.
You can suggest it.
Unless it's French.
It's not.
I
Okay.
I'm gonna suggest Latin.
What?
Oh.
How much Latin can we learn in a week is the question. If I
Well,
like,
the entirety
we've,
of the next
we've
pod
pretty much
is
said
spoken in Latin.
We have to do the
We've
entire
pretty much
episode
said-
in Latin.
like the most
No.
that we've done for like required material is like 10 hours long. If you just learn Latin for 10 hours, what can you get out of it?
At least I know there's one suggestion that won't be getting any votes. Anyway.
Oh,
I'm
and
gonna
then
vote for it despite
Tim-
you, Kyle.
yeah, that's why I said it. You're welcome, Dan.
thank
Tim
you.
had suggested, drumroll
Nah,
please.
I'm not gonna vote for it despite you.
He had suggested Clone High, which is 13 episodes total of 22 minutes each, so shouldn't be... Actually, I think that's like
What is it?
how long Samurai Jack was. Oh, you don't know Clone High? Okay,
Oh, boy.
so it's turned into a meme recently because it's
Yeah.
getting brought back. But basically, it was a cartoon about a bunch of historical figures brought back as clones
Mhm.
and like teenagers in a high school. So like Abe Lincoln is there, Cleopatra is there, JFK is there.
Gandhi's
Notably, 'cause
there.
people fucking love JFK in this,
Yeah.
and people fucking hated Gandhi. Like people legitimately protested Clone High because they didn't like the depiction of Gandhi.
What the hell?
This looks so
It's also-
weird.
I've seen it clips on YouTube that were really funny.
The whole
Yeah.
series is also on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing. I'll upset
Oh.
all the way through.
Interesting. Okay. So let's go over each of them. So we're just going to be saying I for each one if you want it, and not voting for our own suggestion. Okay. So Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Aye.
Okay, that's 2. Mushroom Men.
Damn.
Cool. Sorry for those Mushroom Men, the Spore Wars fans out there. Helplessness Blues. Aye.
Sick.
Alright, that's 1. Robots movie game for the GBA.
Aye.
2. Alright. Latin.
Aye.
Alright,
you.
we've got 1. And Clone High. Aye.
Aye.
That's another 2. So we've got a big split opinion here.
Is it a three-way tie or something?
It's a 3-way, yeah. That's
It's a 3-way.
What I mean is, it's between Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Robots movie game, and Clone High.
That's a
I
good
don't know,
spread.
Should we like vote one off first, or like, or vote for as many as we want between? I don't even know how to do a vote between 3 with just 5 people. That
I
seems
think
like we're just
everyone
gonna
votes
get...
one. They just get one vote. I think that will settle it.
I don't know. I think it would be
Alright,
more. I think it would be more tense if we voted one off before we voted again. I think that would be
Yeah,
exciting.
let's do that.
I want to vote the
Okay,
Diary of a
so-
Wimpy Kid off.
If you don't get a marshmallow, you get voted off
You're
permanently
wait for it, Kyle.
the Doctor's
So-
name to never,
So,
ever
Kevin.
come back.
so there's Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Robots, and Clone High. We are voting one of them that we do not want to view. So, oh, and yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Aye.
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 All right, that's 3. The Robots movie game. Aye.
Aye.
Can I also
Okay,
vote
so
that one?
so
No,
nobody
vote
voted
one.
off Clone High.
I guess we're doing Clone High.
That's not. We were voting one off, and then we
Alright.
have to vote between the two.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll vote between the 2. So
Sure, this
Robots
is- Yeah,
and Clone High.
yeah, aye.
Aye.
Yeah, that was real
Alright.
fucking shocking.
It was just a little bit shocking. You know, we had to do a vote just to be sure. Just to be sure that between Robots and Clone, how the fuck did Robots get this far? I'm sorry, Kevin.
I wanted to play robots. I wanted to see if it followed the plot of the movie at all, or it was just like a spit-off. I don't know.
I mean, you said
a sequel.
Robots, and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty weird. You know, like I really don't have good memories of that movie, so I feel like I probably wouldn't enjoy it that much. But I'm at least a little bit curious. But like the Robots game.
I mean, it's a movie.
I associate the movie with getting sick in a car.
I associate the movie with the joke at the beginning where they said, would talk about the baby delivery and it comes in a box.
See, I couldn't vote in another movie because we just didn't.
Yeah, no,
trans
I'm aware.
There was a fun trans joke in it that wasn't actually transphobic. That was kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
Do you
singing
remember
in
it?
the
I
oil.
vaguely remember it.
He fucking he gets like a female part and then just uses it.
You're gonna need to explain that a bit more.
I feel like there are a lot of jokes I can make here that I don't want to make. So I guess Clone High it is. We're gonna find out what it means to be a clone. I hope that it's really deep discussions of clone ethics. You know, I hope it's really deep sci-fi
Yeah, it
here.
was on MTV. It's really gonna be fucking grounded.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping
JFK.
for.
I hear JFK is a very cerebral character.
Absolutely. Nothing bad.
Dude, I
Have
fucking love
Kennedy!
JFK. Yeah, it's that one scene. Actually, I'll save this for next week. I'll save it for next week. That's
Save
what I'll do.
You know, I was kind of split between the robots game and Ultimate Brain Games for the GBA.
We're not going
But
back.
I think Ultimate Brain Games is just like chess and the like, not actually like brain testing things.
You know,
So,
one
fun
day-
fact: the 2 times that Tim has suggested cartoons, he's won. So
Yeah.
maybe if Tim just keeps bringing in cartoons, then we'll get those.
Yeah, well, one day one of my music fucking recommendations is gonna get through, and that day I'll come. Until then, I'll be dry.
Well, I've been voting for him.
You
I
know,
vote. I
not
voted.
hard enough.
Speaking of which, remember to vote, fellas, in the upcoming election.
Only fellas? That's kind of sexist of
Yeah.
you.
Dude, wow.
Girls can be
What?
fellas.
Fella has never been gender specific.
Yes, it
not,
is.
Yeah, it is.
What?
It is.
Yeah.
Since when is
Any more
fella
problematic?
is one? Listen, like dude, I think kind of became gender. Like I use dude in a gender neutral sense. I think dude has maybe a history of being guys only, but like fellas.
Fella
Yeah,
is,
it definitely
fella
is.
was a masculine term. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of used both ways, but it's a masculine term.
What the
Like-
fuck? I'm sorry. I was just on Google Images looking at the robots game because I wanted to see what it looked like, and I found this, and I'm a little bit confused about it.
How are you confused?
Because I didn't realize that there was a fucking tiny Game Boy, Kevin. I'm sorry.
I feel like this is probably like custom built.
Yeah.
Are we all supposed to know that
And there's
was
the
a-
Game Boy Micro, but that's not that.
Yeah,
that's
this looks
not-
custom built because it looks.
It definitely is.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
clearly, but I'm like, I didn't think they could get a Game Boy that small. That's crazy to my dumb brain.
It's definitely emulated.
Yeah,
When
probably.
I look up fella on
Yeah, they put a
Google
fucking
Images,
cartridge in
it's
there.
mostly women, but that's because there's a female celebrity named Fella.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use that as evidence.
Well, that's bad evidence.